Hi everyone, welcome to the Celebrity Diaries. Envision ascending to the highest point of the R&B world with a large number of hits, your voice turning into the soundtrack to individuals' lives, acclaim, fortune, and a great many fans are inside your grip. However, at that point, quietness, everything vanishes for the time being. That is precisely what has been going on with Joe, the smooth-voiced kuner, who gave us remarkable works of art, like I Need to Be Aware of All the Things Your Man Will Not Do. Yet what, truth be told, made Joe evaporate from the spotlight bits of gossip that have been whirling for quite a long time. And some say it wasn't simply a blurring vocation yet, something a lot more obscure. Could one of ours, what's more, B's greatest male whizzes have renounced him? In the present video, we reveal the reality behind the secretive fall of Joe, the shows of dominance behind the scenes, and whether another incredible craftsman had an impact in hushing his profession for good. We should make a plunge now. Joseph Louis Thomas, better known by his stage name, Joe, was brought into the world on July 5, 1973, in Columbus, Georgia. Joe was acquainted with the upsides of discipline and commitment since the beginning, growing up as the child of early profession teachers. These fundamental years of confidence and administration had an enduring influence on his life and music, yet it was his regular ability and profound love for music that really formed his way during his early stages. Joe moved to Opala, Alabama, where he would move on from Opala Secondary School in 1991. Like many hopeful artists, his excursion to fame wasn't prompt. After secondary school, Joe proceeded to refine his art, maintaining impermanent sources of income while never neglecting to focus on his energy for singing and songwriting. His commitment in the end drove him to New Jersey, where he was looking for a decent job at a gospel music store. It was in New Jersey that destiny acquainted Joe with Vince Herbert, a notable maker in the business. This vital gathering prompted the recording of a 3-melody demo tape, which would at last grab the eye of Polygram Records. In 1992, Joe marked his most memorable arrangement with the Mark, and in 1993 delivered his presentation collection, All That the Collection Delivered, close by Keith Factory. J. Dibbs and Dave Jam Corridor denoted Joe's underlying introduction to the principal stream music scene, while everything did not make quick business progress, peaking at number 105 on the U.S. board and 206 on the announcement R&B diagrams. It was a critical venturing stone in his profession. Subsequent to delivering only one collection with Polygram, Joe made a vocation characterizing move by marking with Jive Records. In 1997, Joe delivered his second collection, All That I Am, which became an extremely important occasion in his vocation. The collection incorporated the hit single All the Things Your Man Will Not Do, which has of now been highlighted in the famous parody Don't Be a Danger to South Focal While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. The year prior, the track crested at number 11 on the announcement Hot 100, making way for much more prominent achievement. All That I Am proceeded to accomplish platinum status, driven by the progress of another champion track, Would Rather Not Be a Player. This tune was conspicuously included on the soundtrack for the parody film Goods Call and later acquired extra acknowledgement when it was inspected by rapper Large Punisher for his hit single, Still Not a Player. The 90s were an especially active time for Joe as an entertainer as well as a musician and maker. His gifts in the background were popular. What's more, he worked with probably the greatest names in the business, including Escape, Tina Turner, Endearing Face, and SWV. Joe's skill for mixing smooth R&B songs with sincere verses became his mark, and he added to some of the time's most significant tracks. Among his remarkable coordinated efforts was his work on the soundtrack for R&B artist Bry's hit tune Heavenly Messenger and Mask. Anyway, quite possibly one of the most significant snapshots of Joe's vocation came in 1999 when pop whiz Mariah Carey requested that he work together on her R melody, Say Thanks to God. I thought that you were delivered as the second single from the vehicle's collection, Rainbow. The tune turned into an enormous hit, coming to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and procuring Joe his most memorable besting single. The track was subsequently guaranteed gold by the recording business Relationship of America. RIA, further setting Joe's place in music history. In April 2000, Joe delivered his third studio collection, I Am Joe. The collection created by Joe, close by conspicuous figures like Kevin, Shakespeare, Briggs, Teddy Riley, and Tim and Bounce, was met with basic praise. It moved to number 2 on the Announcement 200 and got the best position on the top R&B/hip bounce collections outline. The collection additionally made progress universally, breaking into the main 10 in the Netherlands and Canada. To date, it remains Joe's top-rated collection in acknowledgement of its prosperity. My Name is Joe, and the hit single I Need to Be Aware Of got Grammy selections for Best R&B Collection and Best Male R&B Vocal Execution. The next year, Joe followed up this outcome in 2001 with the arrival of his fourth collection, Better Days, despite the fact that it didn't match the business levels of its ancestor. It topped at number 32 on the Billboard 200. What's more, it arrived at number 4 on the top R&B/hip-hop collections diagram outline, in the end acquiring gold affirmation in the U.S. The collection created 2 remarkable singles, How About We Remain at Home This Evening, which arrived at number 18 on the hot R&B hip-hop melodies outline, and Imagine a Scenario where a lady who beat the grown-up R&B melodies diagram like its ancestor, More Promising Times, was additionally widely praised and got a Grammy designation for Best R&B Collection, While We Should Remain at Home This Evening, acquiring Joe One More Gesture for Best Male R&B Vocal Execution in 2003. Joe got back with his 5th studio collection, and afterward, still up in the air to push his imaginativeness even further this time, he enrolled the assistance of high-profile colleagues, including creation groups Carvin and Ivan Dre and Vidal and The Longshots, as well as R&B hotshot Kelly. The collection's lead single increasingly turned into a moderate achievement, arriving at the main 20 on the R&B outlines. In the interim, a subsequent single, Ride With You, highlighting rap, Bunch G Unit, has gotten some forward movement globally, especially in the UK where it topped at number 12 on the UK singles outline. The tune additionally made progress in Australia, breaking into the main 40 generally, and then was one more consistent merchant for Joe, at last acquiring gold accreditation from the RAA. Anyway, in the background, strain R. Kelly among Joe and Robert Sylvester. Kelly R. Kelly started to arise in a 2014 interview with Vlad Television. Joe uncovered that he had gotten sound data proposing that Kelly, his name mate at the time, had disrupted his vocation by convincing industry insiders to stop advancing Joe's music. Kelly purportedly cautioned radio broadcasts and show advertisers that assuming they kept supporting Joe Kelly, he would decline to work with them in the future. Joe anyway dismissed these endeavors, attesting that no individual could hold that sort of force over his vocation. He additionally communicated disarray over Kelly's activities, as they had never had any private debates. Joe accepted that Kelly considered him to be a danger to his own R&B inheritance. However, Joe kept up with that he had consistently appreciated Kelly's melodic abilities in spite of these challenges. Joe's vocation proceeded to prosper, and he proceeded to procure 7 Grammy selections and further lay out himself as a worldwide R&B star, later long stretches of overwhelming the R&B scene with his profound voice and a line of effective collections. Joe made the astonishing choice to pull back from music for some time. It was anything but a hurried move in any case. A well-thought-out break that permitted him to seek after different interests also developed past the music business. During this time, Joe turned his regard for undertaking, stretching out into land, sending off a very good quality apparel line called J. Thomas. What's more, he made his own tequila image. Sojo for Joe, it was an opportunity to reevaluate himself and investigate life beyond the studio. I needed to branch out and turn into something beyond somebody who goes out and sings. Joe made sense of considering his choice. The break gave him an opportunity to re-energize and investigate roads that he had continuously needed to seek after. Yet the music world hadn't heard the remainder of Joe in the wake of removing some time. He had gotten back to the business prepared for a new beginning with his 6th studio collection, Ain't Nothing Similar to Me, delivered in 2007 through Jive Records. Joe set out on a featuring visit to advance the new collection, which saw him reconnect with his fan base, while the collection's most memorable single, Where You At, highlighting rapper Papoose, didn't have a huge effect. Joe made progress with the mid-rhythm track in the event That I Was Your Man, which moved to number 16 on the grown-up R&B outline. Sadly, this collection likewise denoted the termination of his friendship with Jive Records. Bits of hearsay whirled about Joe's disappointment with the marks of advancement of his work, prompting an aftermath between the craftsman and the organization. Conflicts over how his music was being promoted pushed Joe to move in another heading, not one to be prevented. Joe proceeded with his vocation, freely delivering his seventh collection. Joe Thomas was a new man in September 2008 under Car Diversion, a mark possessed by industry veteran Carl Massenberg with a heavenly creation arrangement, including Brian Michael Cox, Generalizations, and DeMille. The collection made areas of strength for an arrival at number 8 on the announcement 200 outline. It flagged Joe's capacity to remain pertinent and effective even without the sponsorship of a significant name all through his vocation. Joe reliably conveyed collections that arrived at the main 10 on the board 200, keeping in mind that his new ventures like Extensions 2014. Thanks for watching this video.